Hello and welcome to News 9 Sports for this special. India will aim for a second successive series sweep against the West Indies when they clash with the hosts in the third and final ODI at Port of Spain in Trinidad and Tobago today. Impressive performances from Shreyas Iyer, Shubman Gill, Akshar Patel with the bat and Shardul Thakur and Mohammad Siraj with the ball gave India an unassailable 2-0 lead in the series. Even without as many of 7 of their main players, India's bench strength has proved its worth and come out with flying colours in the series. So what can we expect for the third and final ODI at Port of Spain? The first question for Team India is, will they give a chance to their reserves at the potential cost of losing the match? The choice is between a clean sweep and trying the bench strength. Remember, West Indies has challenged India in the first 2 ODIs. Therefore, if India wants to go for a clean sweep, they might like to play their best. India might like to play their best 11. Right. The news coming in from Port of Spain is India has won the toss and have elected to bat first. India have won the toss and have elected to bat first. I'll just take you through the teams. But the news coming in from the third ODI at Port of Spain in Trinidad and Tobago is that India have won the toss and opted to bat first. It's not a surprising call. India would want to try out the top order, which has done well in the series. Shreyas Iyer has done well. The re-emergence of Shubman Gill, who's focusing on his scoring rate, has been a big positive for India. Also, India needs to give Surya Kumar Yadav and Deepak Hooda some time in the middle. They haven't scored many runs in the series. So it's not a surprising call that they have won the toss and they've elected to bat first. Shikhar Dhawan has said, we will bat first, we will like to post a good score. The best thing is everyone is performing. Nice to see that. So the news coming in, India has won the toss and has elected to bat first. We'll just get you the playing 11s when they come in. Going back to the series, it will be interesting to see whether India makes any changes to the playing 11, which will be announced now, or will they go with the full strength playing 11 for the series. Remember, India has won 3 ODI series on the trot. India has won 5 of their last 6 ODI series. India defeated West Indies 3-0 at home in February. So they will be aiming for their second successive series sweep. Personally, I think India will go in with some reserves for this match because 3-0, 2-1, I mean, it hardly makes a difference. India needs to give the likes of Ruturaj Gaikwad, Arshdeep Singh a chance. Very few matches are left. Before the World T20, and even India is building up a squad for the World Cup next year. So it's better to try as many players as possible, especially a dead rubber. Right. I'll further tell you what Shikhar Dhawan said at the toss. He said that's a big positive for us. Happy with that everyone's performing. I feel that intent is important. We've seen how India is playing aggressively in the power play since Rohit Sharma has taken over. Also now I have the playing 11 for you. Shikhar Dhawan captain, Shubman Gill, Shreyas Iyer, Surya Kumar Yadav, Sanju Samson, Deepak Hooda, Akshar Patel, Shardul Thakur, Mohammad Siraj, Yuzvendra Chahal and Prasidh Krishna. So India haven't experimented much. India haven't experimented much with their playing 11. Prasidh Krishna makes a comeback as we had predicted, but more or less the other team remains the same. India hasn't made too many changes, which means India wants to go for a 3-0 sweep. Again, I'll repeat India's playing 11 for you. Shikhar Dhawan, Shubman Gill, Shreyas Iyer, Surya Kumar Yadav, Sanju Samson, the wicketkeeper, Deepak Hooda, Akshar Patel, Shardul Thakur, Mohammad Siraj, Yuzvendra Chahal and Prasidh Krishna. India wants to go for a 3-0 sweep. They haven't tested the reserves of their bench in this match as was predicted. So this is an interesting playing 11 for India. Shikhar Dhawan has won the toss. He wants to bat first. He wants to put up a big score. Also, it was also a little surprising that India, haven't tried the likes of, Gaikwad and Arshdeep in this match, which a lot of people had thought they would, given that, India is also building a squad for the 50-over World Cup. But India hasn't tried Gaikwad and Arshdeep in this match. They have gone with almost a full-strength playing 11 given the available resources. Right. Talking about India, the biggest positive for India in this series, I think, has been the form of Shreyas Iyer. The form of Shreyas Iyer in this series has been the biggest positive for India. Remember, Shreyas Iyer has a great ODI record, a very good start to his ODI record, but had been in indifferent form in limited overs cricket since the beginning of 2022. What has he done in this series? 117 runs, strike rate of 91.4, 250, so he's been consistent, he's getting the big runs and he's scoring at a high strike rate. Remember, he just had 199 runs in the last 8 innings before the start of this series at an average of only 25. Shreyas Iyer's record against the West Indies, and this is something which stands out. Shreyas Iyer's record against the West Indies is absolutely phenomenal. 463 runs at an average of 58 and strike rate of 97 against the West Indies. He has got 750s in 8 innings against them. So Shreyas Iyer loves to bat against the West Indies. He has a great record against them, and he's actually another 50 today or maybe even 100, and who knows, I mean, he's probably the player of the series. We also need to talk about Shikhar Dhawan. You know, he's been a bit of an enigma in the last few matches in 2022. He has had a very interesting first couple of matches, Shikhar Dhawan. 97 of 99 in the first ODI, but then a very indifferent 13 of 31 deliveries, where actually, you know, India was chasing a 300 plus total. Dhawan did not help India scores at all. 13 of 31 actually was a very poor knock by Shikhar Dhawan. He's failed in 4 of his last 6 ODI innings. In T20Is also he hasn't done well. He has this strike rate problem in 2022, just 76.03. That's the ODI strike rate for him in 2022 this calendar year. The norm for openers, the average strike rate for openers in ODIs across the world this year is 80. So Shikhar Dhawan is even lower than the norm for openers in this calendar year. It is a problem for Shikhar Dhawan. The World Cup is in India next year. We have a bunch of reserve players. If Rohit Sharma has to open, Shubman Gill is now emerging as a front contender to maybe even open with Rohit Sharma. It doesn't matter if it's not a left and right combination. India has to go with the 2 informed players. Talking about Shubman Gill, one of the big positives, in fact the big positive for India, apart from Shreyas Iyer's return to form, is Shubman Gill's new avatar, you know, as a hitter in the opening position in this series. What has he done in this series? 107 runs at a strike rate of 105. I'm laying focus on the strike rate, 105 runs. Remember, this is the same Shubman Gill who till last year said, I don't care much about strike rate. He has definitely changed that attitude since IPL this year, where he scored 483 runs as a strike rate of 132. He had 280 plus knocks in the IPL at a strike rate of greater than 160. In fact, one of them was at a strike rate of greater than 180. So he's changed his attitude. He knows he has the talent to take on any bowling attack in the world. He's a gifted player, perhaps along with Prithvi Shaw, amongst the most talented players in the Indian domestic circuit. Still very young, 22, 23. Shubman Gill, and therefore India is giving him a chance in the limited over, especially in ODI cricket. So Shubman Gill, you know, 64 of 53, 43 of 49 is a big positive for India, given that Shikhar Dhawan is not, you know, at his best, and Rohit Sharma will definitely open the innings. So Rohit and Shubman Gill, you know, 2 fantastic fluent right-handers, could be a big positive for India come the World Cup at home next year. Also, one negative, if we have to talk about, if we can call it a negative for India in this series, you know, has been a little, they've lost too many wickets in the middle overs. You know, their run rate has been good. Their run rate has been around 5.5, 6. But India is losing too many wickets in the middle overs. And what that is doing is that then they cannot accelerate in the death because they don't have enough resources in the death. So if you see 175 runs for 4 wickets in the first ODI in the middle overs, that is in 30 overs between over 11 and 40 in the first ODI, they scored 175, which is a good run rate, but they lost 4 wickets. Then in the second ODI, 170, but they lost 5 wickets. If you lose so many wickets in the middle overs, then you don't have enough wickets, you know, at the death. Then your tail and lower order is playing at the death, which is a bit of a problem. They've lost as many as 46 wickets in 11 matches in the middle over phase of play in 2022, which means more than 4 wickets per game in 2022 in the middle overs. It is, only Australia and one other country have fared worse than India in terms of losing wickets in that phase of play. So India just need to be careful. They need to consolidate. One of the reasons why this has happened, though, is the form of Surya Kumar Yadav and Deepak Hooda. Surya especially, Surya hasn't fired in the first couple of matches, so he'll be expecting a big score today. Surya needs to do well in the series. His mode of dismissal has been a slight cause of concern. The ball hasn't been coming onto the bat. He's been, he's inside edged 4 times in his last 5 ODI innings. Also, his highest score in his last 5 ODI innings has just been 20. So Surya Kumar's Yadav form, has been a big problem. I won't say a big problem, has been a bit of a problem for India in this series. But Surya Kumar is the same Surya Kumar who was absolutely fantastic in the ODI series versus England. He did, and he remains, one of India's best batsmen going into the World T20 Down Under starting in October. So India won't be too worried. Just a little concerned that they need Surya, the ODI batsman also. So hopefully he'll get a big score today. Right, I will just read out the playing 11s again for you. India: Shikhar Dhawan, Shubman Gill, Shreyas Iyer, Surya Kumar Yadav, Sanju Samson, Deepak Hooda, Akshar Patel, Shardul Thakur, Mohammad Siraj, Yuzvendra Chahal and Prasidh Krishna. West Indies: Shai Hope, Centurion in his 100th ODI, Brandon King, Casey Carty, he is a good middle order batsman, Casey Carty, Shamron Brooks, Nicholas Pooran, Kyle Mayers, good form he is in, Jason Holder, Keemo Paul, a fantastic all-rounder, Akeal Hussain, amongst the highest wicket takers in ODI cricket this year, Hayden Walsh is there in the team, and Jayden Seales. So it's an interesting team, lots of spinners there. Expect the wicket at Port of Spain should be a batting paradise, but it should take turn in the second innings. It is a fresh pitch from what I learned. So it's going to be an interesting match, whether India can make it the second successive series sweep against the West Indies in the same calendar year, or will the West Indies finally pull off a consolation win against India? Remember, they've run India close in the first 2 matches, very close in the first 2 matches. No one expected them to. So can they make it 1-8, 1-2 and end the series on a high? It's going to be interesting. That's all for me on this preview show. Sit back and enjoy the 3rd ODI. India has won the toss and are batting first. For all other sports, please subscribe to News9, your one-stop destination. Remember, the Commonwealth Games start tomorrow. The opening ceremony is tomorrow. We'll give you all the analysis, detailed reports, features. So please subscribe to News9 Sports. Thank you and goodbye.